And welcome back. And as was mentioned earlier in the show, our final segment for today is a conversation with some dynamic young Belizeans. They were chosen to be a part of the Young Leaders of the Americas initiative. And this is a program that is run through the United States Embassy. So I have with me at this time, I believe it's 4 of 6 Belizean youths who were selected to be a part of the initiative. So I have Andrew Munnings, who is the person behind Guide Light Productions. Of course, we know you to be a youth activist in the country. We have, and you're from Belize City as well. We have Karen Dawson, who's been on the show before to talk about your entrepreneurship endeavors. And of course, you were also selected to go. You're from Belize City. We have Gabriel from Toledo, who is the founder and executive director of Nalum Cacao Institute in Belize. And we have Herman Urbina, who is the co-manager and marketing director of Ice Break in Belize, another entrepreneur as well, and from Orange Walk. So I want to say a big thank you for joining me this morning, and also congratulations, because this is a pretty prestigious group that is selected to participate in the YLAI, right? So let me just start off by finding out what prompted you all to apply to this program. Who wants to start? Go ahead.
Actually, I was online on Facebook, and I saw the program being promoted on Facebook. And at that point, it was 1 week before the deadline. And I thought, you know, it seems interesting. I'm going to apply. Caught my attention. And so I applied, and it's a very, it's a 2-step application process. Once you submit your application, they select their semifinalists, and then you submit a video interview after that. And that's how that works.
Okay. And for the rest of you all?
Well, I was already interested in starting to branch off. I wanted to branch off my business. So then me and my dad have already been thinking about, you know, going to Belize City or looking into places. And thankfully, this program came about in the right time. You know, it was to help your business plan and develop your business. So I was like, this is perfect for me, because maybe I can learn a thing or two about this. So I did apply. They might say it's not a work, but for me it was a lot of work, because I had my business, so it was a lot of time consuming. I had to apply for write different essays and get that done. But then I got an email that I made it into the 16%. So from 4,000 people that applied, they cut it down to about 16%, which is about 650. And from there, they had the video interview, which was very extensive. It was more about finding about what you think about entrepreneurship and leadership-wise, or trying to pick your brain. And then from there, they cut it down to 250 from Latin America and Caribbean, and 6 Belizeans were chosen.
Wow. And Gabriel?
Similarly, like Karen, I was on Facebook, and I saw this beautiful logo, Wildlife, and I saw Obama with youth, and I said, why not? You know, and I started the application, and I got to the semifinal. I got, again, the video interview, and was waiting patiently for the reply until I received a no. First, I was like, you know, okay, well, we're gonna, we like your business, and, you know, we'll keep you on standby. And I just like went back to work. I said, you know, it's a lost opportunity. But luckily, one Monday, I was coming back from work. I was going home, and I got a call from the U.S. Embassy in Washington. And I said, wow, this is really an opportunity that I need to.
Which means it was meant for you.
Yeah, and I really wanted to share how I got selected.
I love that.
Well, I am in youth development, so I'm always searching for that next opportunity. And then this came in the email, and when I opened it and I saw that everything was free, I said, I have to apply for this. But it was a tough process, because I was working at the same time, and I went to school and all of those stuff, and to shift all of those up for 6 weeks, that is a lot. But 6 weeks was worth it. It was headache for the month and all of those stuff, but all of those was worth it.
Okay, so you get, as a part, and I love that you all have set the backdrop, there were over 4,000 applicants across the globe.
Yeah.
And from that, 6 Belizeans were chosen to participate, 6 of 250.
50, correct.
So it means that you definitely have qualified as leaders, young leaders within your country. And individually, when I look at your bios, I know that you are definitely trying to break grounds in your own individual capacity. So let's talk about, I know you all met Obama. I know a couple of you traveled to Peru to further do entrepreneurship work as young leaders. But I want to talk about what has been the most influential portion of the 6 weeks that you have been a part of the Young Leaders of the Americas initiative.
My most memorable experience, it is not a moment, it's a person. And I worked with the Boy Scouts of America for one entire month, and my boss, I think he's watching right now, Mr. Eddie Rodriguez. I have to give him thanks over. He's been the best boss I've had. Oh man, he deals with an NGO, but how he works, he finds time within those working hours to deal with himself. He doesn't kill himself. He eats something different every day. He travels every day, and that is the type of person I want to be, because business is to money, but NGO is to change. And once you are in an NGO and you don't love what you do, then it is not worth it. So my boss that I was working with, he inspired me in a way I never thought I could have been inspired. So and because of that, we are launching a all-males brotherhood club that is called Roots, reviving our original tradition and strengths, where we teach young men how to dress, how to talk to women, teach young men how to step up to the plate to be men.
Fantastic. So that is a spin-off from this experience. Okay, and I see he's pointing to you. Does that mean you're getting involved as well?
Not exactly.
Okay.
But through my experience, Wildlife is focused on developing entrepreneurial skills and offering opportunities for economic growth. So it's basically networking. And that's what I took most from it. It was networking, getting to know people from, Caribbean and all over the world. Finding out about different businesses and how I can maybe intertwine my business with them. So that's what I took back a lot from. I was placed in Austin, Texas, with an amazing group of Austinites, what we call each other. We became a big group, a family. We got so close. So I think that's what I took back the most, just developing a network, a family. And I'm excited to be traveling. We have already been planning up reunion trips, so we'll be meeting up. Yeah.
Now you have created an ice cream company, right? Were you placed with something that was similar to your field? Where did they put you?
Yeah, I was placed with Amy's Ice Cream, which is an ice cream brand that has 14 different branches across Texas. Because I explained in my business model, in my business plan, that I wanted to start franchising and start branching out, opening food trucks and the whole shebang. But then through Amy, she explained to me that I'm not ready yet to franchise. What she explained is that she hasn't even franchised herself. All the business that she has is that she owns them because of the type of service that she offers. She prides herself on offering a type of service that maybe if she sells it to someone, they won't offer the same service. And that's something that I take pride in Icebreak. We take pride in knowing that we're actually making a difference in our community. So what she did is that she told me is that what you can do is train your employees, train them from the start. So maybe when you start branching off, you can take your same employees and turn them into a manager. So then you can, start branding them off or start building them up and investing in your employees.
And maintain your quality.
Yes,
nice
exactly.
one. Gabriel, tell us.
Yeah, I mean, this for me was more an opportunity. We here in Belize don't really talk about mentorship, about coaching, But for me, I felt like that was what I needed. Yeah. And it actually didn't go in my business plan or my one of my expectation out there. But when I got there, that was heavy. That was the energy that was there. We had all these entrepreneurs who were feeling alone.
Yeah.
They were on a journey alone. But then when we got together, there was that mentorship, that coaching that like majority of the people that were out there needed. Because then you wanted to know how your business was going to be successful, how are you going to phase off, or how are you going to be more productive in what you're doing.
You know, and it's interesting. I wanted to get your perspective because I also know in Toledo that the chocolate industry is one that is really growing. Several people are trying to get involved. Organic chocolate is something that there's a high demand for. It's a part of the tourism product. So obviously it means for you, it's high competition in a at the very start. So where did you get placed, and what do you think your mentorship experience through the program has really helped you?
I got the opportunity to visit the USDA research station in Miami, which that was where I was placed. But my host was the Florida International University. And so my host, he managed to strategically point out some of the areas that I needed to be involved in. Yeah. So I represent a nonprofit. Nalum Cacao is a nonprofit, but focused on assisting, supporting farmers to increase their yields. So some of the things that I learned from my program was, it's genetics, good varieties, good flavor. Belize is known for a good quality cacao bean.
That's right.
And that, we want to keep up. But how do we increase yields? And so I just went in, tried to find out what methods we can implement back home that will allow the farmers to be sustainable in what they're doing and allow the industry to grow and keep it, organic.
All right. And Karen, Shop the Belize, right?
Yes.
Is that what allowed you this opportunity?
Yes.
We know you had been here for your launch in terms of being able to get it out into the market. Experience will help enhance your product.
Okay. Actually, the experience actually showed me that there was actually a need for me to make some changes, some shifts in mentality and approach. Specifically, the shift from working in the business to working on the business. The shift from just having a network to harvesting my network. When I was like Gabriel said, we were placed in city hubs and we're a part of a new family. We're entrepreneurs on our individual journey and we have our individual challenges. But being placed in this family where now you're a part of a new network. I was in Utah and the team at Utah became my family. And we, up to today, last night we communicated, we still give each other tips, it's just a whole new experience. But what that did for me was it showed me, one, that despite the length of your journey, despite the challenges that you experience, when you have others who are of like mind that you can share with, it's a form of encouragement, it's an inspiration to continue. Two, when you see the vision and the ideas that are coming out of other people from your region and from the other regions, there's hope. There's hope that, you know what, as challenging as it is right now for us as a country, that there is room and we can be a part of that change that is happening. And the third thing is, we're giving an opportunity to go out there and interact. But we have an opportunity to establish strategic relationships. I had the opportunity to meet with eBay, and for me that was huge because, as you know, here in Belize, the online industry is coming, it's there, but we don't have a model that we can look up to. And the journey that I've been on, I realized that it could have been a whole lot different had I identified a model earlier that I could follow. And so sitting down and speaking with Katie Stevens from eBay, for me, that was like one of the most cherished 1 hour I will keep and will impact the way going forward. So for me now, there's a lot of changes that I will be making. And so Belize can look out for it because I'll be definitely, we'll be back. And we'll be talking about that. But also what was important is that you realize that we're a part of a wider network. Belize, we are so small. We had 6 representatives out there, but we made an impact. Herman, in his pitch competition, got 2nd place in Texas. In Utah, Belize tied for the People's Choice Award, And then they had to redo it, and we tried again. And then at that point, they had to just pick. And so Panama took that one. But just the fact that, you know, we're out there. And then in the other states, each one of us had an impact where we were. And we established collaborations going forward. I know Gabriel certainly have, you know. And so for me, the experience came down to, what network are you creating? How will you harvest it going forward? What's the mentality going forward? How are you going to be a part of the change now in your country? And how do you impact others, other entrepreneurs coming up? And I think it's also important to point out that it wasn't just entrepreneurs that were in the program. There were civil society leaders, and there are people who have a vision that they want to convert. So they did not expect that when you enter that you are just, you know, you have everything covered. They expected that this is a wide range that we will cover, and they accommodated for us. Really.
You know, you said something so important, and that's really one of the things I wanted to touch on. Each one of you individually in your responses spoke about the impact of mentorship. And you're right, Gabriel, we don't have a culture or an ingrained culture of mentorship. I think part of it is that people don't know how to mentor or understand the need for mentorship. But what has been transformed in you individually about your role in being able to help others as well?
Like I said, when I was here, I literally thought I was doing everything as a youth leader, right? I woke up every morning, I go to work, I mentor kids, I do my programs and all of these stuff, but it was until I went over there and I had an on-hand primary experience with these kids from Boy Scouts, South America, the ones that are homeless and all of these stuff. And that was when I realized that we are not doing as much as we should be doing. But the first stage in changing something is realizing that there is a problem. And there is a problem. The entire mentorship and all of those stuff, we don't have it. And that right there is true leadership to me. A true leader doesn't reach his place that he wants to be and just settles down. But a true leader, even when he reaches success, takes on somebody else and help them reach their stage of success as well. So this initiative was great. I went to Reno, Nevada, and that was a life-changing experience. And just like what Karen said just now, I have a lot of things that I will be changing.
Okay. And anybody else in terms of the mentorship experience?
Yeah, well, me, when it came down to, like, they were helping me a lot with my pitch, prepare me for the pitch competition. I took into consideration three themes, which was social impact, social growth, and investing in my employees. So when you think about ice cream parlor, you don't think about how does that give back as we're for profit. But then Orange Walk is a place that unfortunately doesn't have much places for young people to hang out. We don't have malls and theaters and essential bar. Unfortunately, it's saturated with bars. So then we see my place as a haven for young people. They come, they interact, they hang out, they do their homework. We offer them the Wi-Fi, so they come, and you know, it's a clubhouse. And I take pride in knowing that, you know, I'm making an impact in the community in that way. And how I'm investing in my employees is that there's this girl we have, Leslie. She had inspirations, more than an ice cream scooper. She told us, you know, she likes to bake. So now she's a head baker for her business. And you know, that's something we can take farther, opening a bakery, helping her, you know, opening a business. So that's what I know. I took more, and I'm just not an owner, just not a manager of them. I'm helping develop my community, and I'm ready to open up somewhere else in Corozal or Belize and be able to help back and give back to the community in that way.
Nice. Now, go ahead.
I was just going to say that the experience also helped from a technical and managerial standpoint for me, because since I'm setting up my office now on Albert Street, but I did not have the know-how in terms of how to manage a team for a virtual business. And so being placed with Jet Digital Marketing, which offers search engine optimization and web development services, was huge for me. They're a small team offering virtual services. And so to be able to observe them, do job shadowing, to see kind of like, okay, this is how you manage your team. What is the business culture that, you know, whether you like it or not, you have an idea what is it that you want in your own place back home. And I think one of the biggest things for me was the takeaway on documenting your processes. In Belize, for me, looking when I was out there and looking at Belize from outside, I realized that a lot of businesses that exist here, if the owner dies, the business pretty much is going to follow suit. And so it's something that I think is critical that we need to look at. To how do we prepare our businesses so that even after we are no longer there, or even when we need a break, that the business can function and offer consistent results without the owner present. And so to me, that is huge, and it's something that I want to not only keep for myself, but I want to impart some of that with other entrepreneurs out there. I'm hoping to be able to
especially with entrepreneurs, it's hard because they want to hold on to their idea.
Right, and I think all of us will agree that the organizations where we were placed, they never stuck to their ideas like that. They were willing to share with us. The CEO that worked with me, Chris Rowe, I'll tell you, when I first got there, the first meeting that we had, he presented a strategic plan that he was proposing for me. This is my first day at Jet Digital Marketing, which meant for me that he took the time before I got there to look into Shop the Belize, to consider, all right, this is where she is, this is where I think she needs to go. And he actually drafted a digital map and presented that to me. And that for me was huge. If somebody who will not benefit from my business at all, take the time to do this, and they're not being paid, they're volunteering their time. They were not paid anything, and they're volunteering their time. To me, that was huge. It means that I cannot afford to give less. And it says to all of us as entrepreneurs and civil society leaders that we have a responsibility to our country, to our families, to ourselves, to give of our best.
Well, it only means that we're going to see big boosts in Icebreak and in your chocolate and Shop the Belize, and we'll see the start of this new organization getting started, right? Have you guys set a timeline for yourselves? I mean, one of the things, and as a young leader, I remember that you attend a conference, you come back so rejuvenated, and you feel that everything can and will happen. You know, and you want to capitalize on that momentum. Have you set deadlines for yourself before the energy starts to fade off?
I have already started it, actually.
See?
With Amy's, once the mentor, they talked to me a lot about customer service and involving your employees to make them feel that they're part of a bigger picture. You know, they're not just an ice cream scooper, they're actually involved. With Amy's, what they did, they had something they call company huddles, where they told them, all right, this week we're going to make X amount of money. And if we make above that, that goes to the employees. So, you know, you actually see the employees, they want to work harder. They want to actually, hey, you want a bigger scoop? Do you want the better cone? You actually, so I said, maybe is that something I can start bringing back? And customer service, amazing customer service. Because in the US, they base a lot on tips. And unfortunately, I think Belize, we don't really base on tips.
We don't have a tipping culture.
We don't have a tipping culture. And then I brought back to my company, as I came back, I told the girls, I sat them down. Well, I will be sitting down with them. I'll be talking to them a lot about customer service and how we can actually help them to be part of a bigger team, involve them, and I'm already starting and looking into different places. I already looked into several spots here in Belize City. So hopefully Icebreak will be here in Belize City pretty soon.
With your excellent customer service. All right, good.
For me, it all happened when I was in the US, most part of it. I actually was doing grants, I was writing grant proposals and stuff. Before I went to the US, I was approved a grant from the IAF to do trainings with farmers and so farmer groups. So they will definitely be, that's going to be my job for the next 18 months. But apart from that, you know, I also went and, you know, just looked at how our product was kind of, you know, situated in the market. And for me, I think I knew it before, but I wanted to see it firsthand. And I think the craft chocolate is definitely our market. And organic, of course, they pay a lot for that.
And the story.
Exactly,
the
story. You know, and I think that I will want to cherish and, of course, encourage fellow farmers to continue to produce that product. And, of course, collaborations. The FIU, under their agroecology program, they want to partner with Nalum Cacao Institute to maybe have students come to Belize, experience our agriculture practices or culture, and vice versa. And I think for me, that is certain things that, you know, I look ahead.
That's a great opportunity.
Yeah, definitely.
And?
For me,
We're jumping on the momentum at this point.
well, like Gabriel, while I was there, I started working on some of the changes, particularly redefining, starting from the basic, like redefining my core values, the mission, and so forth. And then now working on establishing relationships with organizations locally, and setting a new date. Pretty much it's going to be January. I don't have the date as yet, but again, you'll hear from me on that. Okay. Where we will basically take what we've learned, implement it, and basically apply it and reach out to the, the general community. One of the things that I knew before I left here was that in Belize, when I conducted a research about a year or two here, the business community generally open 9 to 5. And the people with the buying power pretty much open work 9 to 5. And so there are these conflicting hours. And so there was a need to be able to maximize your sale as a business owner, but as a consumer to be able to purchase what you need when you need it. But I also realized that through this experience, I'm offering more than just a solution for these issues. I'm offering hope and breaking down barriers for Belize. Hope for consumers that they will be able to shop conveniently while impacting the standard of service they receive. Yeah. Hope for entrepreneurs that they can access affordable, unlimited market access. And then hope for Belize's economy that we can, focus on preparing for that next generation. So for me, this is, I need to breathe a little, but the idea is that... I love
the excitement. I think
is that it really opened my mind to what can be done. And setting a timeline, since I've been back, I've created my task list on what needs to be done, when it needs to be done. And so probably in maybe mid-December, I'll have that timeline set more or less from there.
And Andrew?
I am excited. But asleep right now, so. But since I came back, I could honestly say that I have been spending time dealing with my program, not just Roots, but I have a 5 years goal from now where I want 6 of my program that I am developing, all of those to shoot out, which involve the primary school transitional program where we prepare standard 6 students for high school. I am working on a single mothers program where we find jobs and apartments for a single mother, but one day a week they have to show up for training and all of those stuff. And of course Roots that I want to launch by September of next year. So I went there with a goal and I came back with another goal.
But it's good. It helps you redefine what it is that you want to accomplish.
And everything seems to be so clear now. Before I went, I thought as myself as a leader. But when I went over there and I am back home, I said, you know what, Drew, your role is not to create followers. You have that on Facebook. You don't need that. You have to take young people and you have to transform them into leaders so they can then go and turn other young people into leaders. So I can say that youth development is where I'll
stay.
I'll spend my life.
You've already been doing it, so it's where you'll stay.
Yeah.
So I want to say thank you. We're completely out of time, and I knew this was going to be a long segment because when you have dynamic persons like yourself on set, you have a lot to contribute and share. I do want to say, of course, just one person to be able to say your thanks and why other Belizeans or which Belizeans should apply to this program. Who wants to take that? Herman?
Okay, well, I guess I can. First of all, thanks for having us. I want to send a huge thank to the U.S. Embassy here in Belmopan. They were extremely supportive in helping us getting our papers at orientation, so a huge thanks to them. A thanks to the Merida International. A thanks to Belize Tourism Board. A thanks to the U.S. State Department, because me and Karen actually represented Belize in Peru, where we actually met President Obama. So what we took up from this was the slogan that they told us: don't wait for change, create the change. So I want to tell all youths to don't be afraid to go after their dreams. But any idea that they have, go after it, implement it. There's actually people out there who are willing to help you and willing to support you. Belize while here, we're gonna be around, we're gonna be helping people. So if anyone has any question on YLI on the program, we're going to be around. They can reach out to us, and we'll be able to answer these questions for them.
All right, fantastic. Thank you so much for being here. Congratulations on being selected, and best of luck, because your work starts now, right? We're going to go ahead now and take that final break, and when we come back, we'll have our wrap-up, so stay tuned.